Hi, my tubies. Hello, hello, hello. I have missed you. As you see, I am in my robe, ready to retire for the evening. I'm exhausted, but it's been a minute since we've been together. And I just had to make this quick, well, a couple of videos actually that I have on my mind. Today's topic is going to be about really narcissists. And this is like the most narcissistic thing you'll ever, I don't know, witness or experience. We're going with OWN, OWN, that's Oprah Winfrey Network. And we're talking about people who purposely know that they're infected with the virus, AIDS or HIV, and they don't care. And I want you to tell me, is this a narcissist to the extreme? You have those who are not full-blown narcissists. They are like, they're not like full-blown. And then you have those who are just narcissists. And then you have those who are to the extreme. And when you hear this, I want your view, because I do value your viewpoint. Tell me what you think.
When I first started dating Philippe, I was head over heels. He was very charming. He made me feel like the only woman on the face of the earth.
4 years into their relationship, Diane says Philippe began pulling away from her. She began to suspect him of cheating.
He always had an excuse. I have to do this. I have to do this.
Oh.
Do we know what that's like? He made her feel like she was the only one that was important, like she was the most valuable thing in the world. We've experienced that. Now, considering we know what narcissism is now, what do we call that? Let's say it together. Love bombing. Very good. Very good.
Although Philippe insisted he was being faithful, Diane's gut told her differently.
Because I was paying for his cell phone, I checked his voicemail messages. There were not one but two voicemail messages from two different women. And I knew.
So Diane was certain that Philippe was cheating, so she broke it off. A few days later, she went to see her gynecologist for a routine exam. Watch this.
She called me a few days later and said, I really had to tell you this, but your pap smear came back a little funny. She told me that I had some precancerous cells and it was due to an STD.
What happened next would turn the lives of countless women upside.
She had precancerous cells, and the reason why it was due to an STD. This is a woman. If you look at her, she's like a middle in her midlife, and the guy looks like he's a younger guy. He's very attractive, incredibly attractive. I think most women would go for him, But consider I don't care about looks. I really don't. I would have to fill him out, But he is attractive. He looks Italian or something Greek, like a Greek guy. He's hot. He's a freaking hottie. Anyway.
Down.
I got a test. 2 days later, my OBGYN called me and said, "You're HIV positive." My heart went to the floor. My knees buckled.
Diane went back through Philippe's cell phone records and discovered he had been very busy.
He was dating 9 other women at the same time.
How would you handle that? Your gynecologist calls you in and tells you, your pap smear don't look so normal, so we're going to do a little further test, and they do you got HIV. Okay? Many people say, well, HIV is there's not a cure for it, but they have medications that can manage it. But you don't know what those medications do to people. That's radiation that's inside your body. And just because you see Magic Johnson, he makes everything appear to be so well. I've seen it firsthand dealing with people who have HIV that flip-flop back and forth from because they're T cells. It depends on their viral load and their T cells. Sometimes their T cells, it flips to AIDS, and then when they take the medicine, it goes back down, so now it's HIV. And if they don't take the medication, it flips back to AIDS. You have to understand also what this medication do in terms of making you have diarrhea. You can't hold your bowel movements. You're constantly feeling nauseous and nauseated. This is all this crazy nonsense. And this character, you see, she looked at his records and she sees that he had at least sex with 9 other women. That's just to name the few that was on the record. And the sad part about this, as you listen further, he knew he had HIV. He knew it. Aria, please put a sock in it. Not now. Let's listen up.
Philippe's medical records confirmed he knew he was HIV positive while having sex with countless unknowing women. Police charged him with 6 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The weapon, his bodily fluid. 10 women, all now HIV positive, were willing to testify against Philippe in open court. Well, one of those courageous women was Diane Reeve. She wrote a book about her ex-lover's epic betrayal.
So what do you think about that? Huh, my tubies? You heard it yourself. This character knew that he was HIV positive. He had infected 10 women. Now, and I'm sure once those women had broke up with him, they didn't stop dating. They was going out there laying up and sleeping around with other folks too. Now, and of course, you and I are smart enough to say, well, why didn't these women wear condoms? You know, why didn't they make the guy wear condoms? Well, you heard what was said here. She was in a relationship with this character for 4 years. You can't even be safe when it's your husband. If you look at my previous videos, you'll see where my brother infected my sister-in-law, Cynthia, who was amazing looking, had the body of a freaking dream boat. He was out there dibbling and dabbling and doing all kind of crazy. That was her husband. Who really thinks to wear a condom with their husband? When you've been with a person for 4 years, I mean, after a certain amount of time, you've both been, well, I don't know why they both weren't tested, because if they both were tested, she would have known. Before you engage these days, you have to both get tested. Me, I keep my paperwork. I go to the clinic, I have my primary care, and I have my GYN, and I have Planned Parenthood. In case one person didn't catch it, somebody will. And I take an STD test for every STD that there is possibly that could exist in this world. And I keep my paperwork current every 6 months, even if I'm not sexually active, because sometimes it could be delayed or whatever. No. My ex-narc was a pig, laid up with prostitutes, picking up females off the street that he didn't even know. These dirty, filthy, piggish women had Lysol in their hair, crabs. He didn't know where they came from. He told me about one female. He stuck his private parts in her. She had cysts all in her body. She had lumps and bumps and all kind of crazy looking sores. And he still had put his private parts in with this broad. And oral sex unprotected. You damn right. You know, I'm just grateful to my Heavenly Father that I didn't catch anything with that filthy maggot. You know? But you heard it here. That's just one incident. I have recorded a few of them. I have them on my playlist. This is a Indiana man. Let's listen to this.
An Indiana man is under arrest, accused of knowingly and intentionally spreading the virus that causes AIDS. Police in Greenwood say Tony Perkins met women through an internet dating site.
It's my personal mission to help save lives. God spared me. I've tested negative for a year. My last AIDS test was in February. Negative.
This ex-girlfriend, who didn't want to be identified, went to police.
God spared me, and maybe I was the angel to stop the Antichrist, you know? His quotes were, "A whore gave it to me, so if a whore wants to sleep with me on the first night, she deserves what she gets."
Police are trying to get word out about Perkins, hoping other women will come forward.
This is another nice-looking Caucasian guy. He looks like he may be, I don't know, Hispanic, Greek, or Italian, or whatever. Nice smile, very attractive body, you know? But you heard his reasoning, how he justified what he do? He says that it was a whore that gave it to me, So if you want to sleep with me on the first night and be a loose type of woman, oh well, you get what you get. What do you think about that? Is this narcissism to the extreme? This is craziness, man. It's crazy out here. That's why I'm telling you, you have to be careful. I'm going to do another part. I just want to make sure my new laptop is working correctly. I'll do a part 2 once I download this. I'll be back, Tubies. You always have a choice. Please choose wisely. This is why God knows what he's talking about. Keep sex within marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody was just sleeping with their marriage partner, we wouldn't have all these STDs out here. So does God really know best? I think he does.